So now here again we are back to the questions of calculus. A question आपका limit का है. A question of course I think it involves integration, it involves differential equations, so many things. So let's start. First question is given f of t and g of t be differentiable functions, so defined for all real numbers such that f of 0 is 2 and g of 0 is 1. If ft plus g dash t is equal to 1 and f dash t plus g of t is again 1 for all t, this should have been for all, actually for all t belonging to the interval 0 to infinity. What does that mean? In the interval 0 to infinity, it's like an identity statement always. Okay, then and the value of f of ln2 is p by q, where p and q are natural numbers whose SCF they are in the simplest form. That's what it means. SCF is 1. Okay, then the value of p minus q is, okay, let's start. So see what I did here. Since the two statements given are f of 2 plus t plus g dash of t is equal to 1 and f dash of t plus g of t is also 1, and that's an identity statement, so I just subtracted them and once added them. When I added them, I got g of t plus f of t is equal to 2 minus f dash t plus g dash t. ओके, सो व्हाट डज दैट मीन? तो उसको उठा के इधर ले आए. तो देखिए हुआ क्या, ये हो गया आपका d बाय डी टी ऑफ f of t plus g of t. Okay, we know differentiation gets distributed over addition subtraction, and this is equal to 2 minus f of t plus g of t. Now if I assume f of t plus g of t to be some new thing like new variable z, so it's like, तो ये आपकी सिचुएशन है dz is equal to 2 minus z, so dz by dt. So it will be, if you bring it to the LHS, take dt to the RHS, so I'm writing it directly. Ln of mod of 2 minus z is equal to t plus c. Okay, now let's put the value back here. So what do we get? So we got it here as ln of mod of 2 minus f of t plus g of t, and then this is equal to t plus c. So c is an unknown integral constant, we need to find its value, and for that only is given f of 0 is 2, g of 0 is 1. 2 to get cancelled, ln 1 is 0, so of course t c is 0. So you got one relation here, and what is it? It's 2 minus f of t minus g of t mod is equal to e raised to the power t, so that's one relation. Now similarly, when, as I said, now I can subtract them also. So subtracting second from the first here, so what do we get? We get f of t minus g of t is equal to f dash of t minus g dash of t. So again, I may write it as d by dt of f of t minus g of t is equal to f of t minus g of t, bringing it to the denominator in the LHS, so we get it as d of f of t minus g of t divided by f of t minus g of t is equal to dt, integrating both the sides, so again it's dz by z, so it's ln of mod of f of t minus g of t is equal to again t plus maybe some integral constant p, and again see it's 2 minus 1, put t equal to 0, so ln f of 0 is 2, g of 0, 0 is 1, so it's ln 1 again, so which is 0, so p is again 0. So therefore we now got again one more relation, which is f of t minus g of t is equal to e raised to the power, rather ln of this is e raised to the power t here. Okay, so that's it. Now see, अब यहाँ पे देखिए क्या है कि हमें मॉडुलस ओपन करना है बच्चों. Now we have four possibilities, like f of t is greater than g of t, assuming it, so of course we can write it as f of t minus g of t is equal to e raised power t. So that's one thing. Okay, and in that case, if I assume f of t plus g of t to be less than this, is there anything, just a minute, I think there was some e raised power minus t somewhere, if I remember it correctly. Okay, that's my mistake. Haha, 2 minus z, of course it has to be then minus of ln minus z, so it's e raised power minus t here, right? Okay, Now see, if I assume this to be, see, there are two possibilities again. So I assume f of t plus g of t again to be greater than 2. Okay, so if it's greater than 2, so you get it as f of t plus g of t minus 2 is equal to e raised power minus 3. Now just add them. We just add them and we get 2 times f of t is equal to e raised power t plus e raised power minus t. And see, there are four possibilities actually. I just consider two, in which for the first one f of t is greater than g of t, and the second one their sum is greater than 2. Now there are three more possibilities. You can get different combinations. Accordingly, you will get different values. At last, you have to substitute t by ln of 2 बच्चों. Okay, so that's it for today, for this question. And then if I move to the second question. So now moving to the second question here, देखिए जो second question है वो है आपका given it is x1 is equal to root 5, and then there's a recurrence formula which is like xn plus 1 is equal to xn square minus 2, and for all, and of course and greater than equal to 1, and we have to find the limiting value of x1 into x2 into x3 and so on, xn multiplied, of course, divided by xn plus 1 as n approaches infinity. Okay, now see, let us first try. That's what I did. I just first tried to check to just see which way is a sequence going. So I tried to find x2, how much will that be? So 5 minus 2 is 3, and then I tried to get x3, how much will be? 9 minus 2 is 7, then x4 will be 49 minus 2 is 49. See, it's increasing increasing sequence and increasing at a fast pace because of presence of a square here. Okay, so what does that mean? That means as n approaches infinity, xn approaches infinity. So that's what I concluded from here. Now see what I did. I just tried that xn is xn square is nothing but xn plus 1 plus 2. So xn is under root of, since all the numbers are positive, xn plus 1 plus 2. Okay, now similarly I could write for xn minus 1. Okay, so xn is xn minus 1 whole square minus 2. Okay, so xn minus 1 is again under root of xn plus 2. Similarly, I can write xn minus 2 is under root of xn minus 1 plus 2. Okay, now if I put the value here, xn, so it's root of xn plus 1 plus 2 plus 2. Similarly, if I put the value here, you will have three roots there, isn't that? So xn plus 1 is root of xn plus 2, and xn is root of xn1 plus 2 plus 2 and plus 2. Now let's put these value in the limits. See, n tends to infinity. So I'm starting from the last few terms just to show you what's happening. Xn minus 2, what was that? Xn minus 2. So if I take, see, xn plus 1 common from here, you get xn plus 1 raised to the power 1 by 2 cube into something. From xn minus 1, if I take common, so it will be xn 1 upon 2 square, and if I take it common from xn, it will be half, and whatever you are left with. See, if I take xn plus 1 common from here, so as I said, it will be 1 by 8 2 cube into under root of everywhere. Everywhere means everywhere you will be having, like, it will be 1 plus 2 by xn plus 1 plus 2 by xn plus 1, and then, sorry, till this point, plus 2 by xn plus 1. And we know xn is approaching infinity, so all these terms when n approaches infinity goes to infinity, so nothing is left. Okay, So finally it's xn. Now when you do it till x1, so what you have xn. So for this you will be getting common as xn plus 1 raised to the power 1 by 2 raised to the power n. So xn plus 1 whole raised to the power 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 square 1 dot 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 1 by 2 raised to power n, and whatever is left is 1 here. Okay, and then this is xn plus 1, limit n tends to infinity, this is infinite gp whose sum is 1, and you get everything gets cancelled and the answer is 1 here. Okay, so that was another question for the day which was based on limits बच्चों.